Welcome to Success Talks. As CEO and founder of Working Wardrobes, I call myself an accidental nonprofit leader. What started as just a one-time only event, a day of self-esteem for women in 1990, has become a fully operational nonprofit organization. Today, we serve over 5,000 men, women, young adults, and veterans every year with services that get them back into the workforce with success. Success Talks is the only streaming video show in Orange County that interviews thought leaders from all different industries and cultures about the importance of philanthropy. We'll cover topics that weave together the fabric of corporate social responsibility, personal giving, and compelling stories of people's journeys to success. Welcome everyone to Success Talks. I'm very, very fortunate to have with me today Jules Wilson, a new friend and a very creative lady. Jules, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Jerri.
So I want to talk about you, Jules. I want to talk about this creative spark plug that you are. What's the story about you?
Well, I started out, I have a degree in broadcast journalism. I went to UCLA for 2 years, but then I got an internship in the Bay Area and I left because UCLA doesn't have broadcast journalism. So that was a struggle for me, but I had to go where my dream wanted to take me, so to speak. So then I interned at a couple of different TV stations in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I ended up getting my degree in broadcast journalism from San Jose State. So I interned a little bit, but I struggled with this dream of wanting to do, interviewing or hosting or reporter work, yet I also wanted to be a mom. And I was very concerned about I got a job offer up in, I think it was Eureka. And I was so concerned that it would take me, 50 years to make it back to the Bay Area.
Would you be too old to be wheeled out?
Right. Yeah. And I wanted to have children, get married. So I really picked that instead. I put that on hold. And so I was a mom. Obviously, I have a son and a daughter. And then I got into selling real estate because that allowed me to do that, to be a stay-at-home mom, sort of. You know what I mean? Make their field trips and all, be involved. I didn't want to have children not be there for them. But I still had this yearning inside to just discover what people are doing and what makes them different. I believe that goals are so important, and achieving for big dreams. But I think what's more important is what you do with that once you're working towards your goals, or you feel like you're living the dream, so to speak. So I came up with the idea of starting a show up in the Bay Area, and I ended up actually hosting an RV lifestyle show. But as things change, like look what you've done in 29 years, Jerri. I mean, obviously I researched you. It starts out this little thing. Now you're like, I'm going to just call you the White Oprah. Can I?
Absolutely. I'll own that one. Did you ever take a trip in an RV is what I want to ask you.
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, we took several with my family. And it's fun. I mean, it creates lifelong memories. I think the biggest thing about RVing, I used to always say that you're kind of forced to disconnect so you can reconnect.
And so did you get through the trip without people yelling and screaming at each other? Were you still friends when you came back?
Do we have to be honest? No, I'm joking with you.
Please be honest.
No, I'll tell you one thing. So one time we took an RV, because I could borrow them, right? We took a road trip, which was like the big Mercedes conversion, a kind of a van type of thing. But our children were in the back and we could actually talk to one another. Do you know what I mean?
Amazing.
So yeah, and you're forced to do things that you don't. I tried to say, minimize the cell phones, minimize the computers and that sort of thing. So it's a great experience for family. And I actually interviewed Jenny Garth one time because she's a huge RVer, and she talked about how she has 3 daughters and they took a road trip all the way across country.
Wow. And
it's some of the best times she ever remembered. She grew up RVing with her mom and dad. So it's good. It makes everybody on the same level. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Well, and there are RV parks across the country. I mean, some people are taking 3-month, 6-month trips and a year trip.
Oh, yeah.
Literally selling their homes and just go on the RV way.
They are. Well, I think the main reason is because RVs have completely changed. I mean, I always say I'm good RVing as long as I can bring my blow dryer and my shoes. Do you know
Absolutely.
What I mean?
And a warm shower and an inside toilet. Yeah,
Exactly.
this is really important. So what was your show about RVs?
Okay, so it started out honestly as an infomercial, like a lot of businesses do, but that really that didn't fill me up enough. So over time, we turned it into a lifestyle show about spending time with family, creating family memories, just enjoying nature, seeing the United States, the whole 9 yards. So as it morphed, we turned it into a lifestyle show, and then we would go to different places and showcase. I mean, it used to be RV parks. Now really they're RV resorts. They're really nice. Glamping, I would definitely say I'm a glamper. You look like you probably would be with your,
Not even glamping. I'm a hotel girl.
Yeah, well, exactly. So then I wanted to use the show. I think anything you have, you should, in the right platform, use it as an example for just spreading goodness without sounding cliche. So I came up with this idea of a segment of the show called the RV Celebrity Lifestyle segment. So that's when I reached out to several of the San Francisco 49ers. A lot of them, in the off season, they'll RV. There was actually a golfer that I met, I forget his name, but he bought an RV so he could bring his a baseball player, bring his family down to spring training so they could be together.
Fabulous.
So as that evolved, I thought, gosh, people, we all like a little of the bling. We all want to see success, right?
Of course.
And I always say another thing about Oprah. One time she said, I didn't do the world any bit of good being destitute. So I think that when you're successful, show people that you're successful, but don't forget to be humble. Do you know what I mean?
Totally understand that.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that, because you've had great success in your career. What defined success for you, Jules? When did you say, yeah, I got that. That feels good?
I think when you're young, you're probably more focused on the money. Mm-hmm. And I think real success is when you're more focused on sleeping well at night. And sleeping well at night means you've done something good during the day for somebody else. That's what I think. Do you know what I mean? And honestly, this is another, we like a lot of the Disney movies and the animated movies and all that, Spider-Man, all those. And I remember in Spider-Man, and I know it's an old saying too, but sometimes, you can read a book 10 times, but get that one nugget, one die, because it's probably the day you need it. That's what I always say. The day I hear it is the day I need it. And I always remember in Spider-Man is, with great privilege comes great responsibility. And so, privilege can be just, waking up in the morning. It doesn't have to mean that you're loaded or anything. So I think for me, success is knowing that using the gifts you have to help other people and inspire people.
And you did that with the show that you created in the Bay Area. Give us an idea of how that sense of your philanthropy and your wanting to know where people were investing their good informed a show that you put together.
Okay. So on the RV lifestyle show, as I said, I reached out to some of the San Francisco 49ers, and one of them, and also Dusty Baker, he used to manage the San Francisco Giants. So he's a great guy. I met him, I showcased him, and he talked about how his family RVs in this, but he also had prostate cancer. So he became a huge voice for prostate screening. So then I also had interviewed, Steve Garvey once down here, and how he's just so humble and so kind. And a lot of these guys also, Ricky Jean-Francois, he was a new recruit with the San Francisco 49ers, and his family's from Haiti. So remember when that earthquake was several years back, it was horrible. So he started Ricky's Worldwide Relief Foundation for Haiti. And it's just so many of these guys that I met, they're stellar on the field, but it really is what's in their heart. So I thought, you know what? Most everybody likes to see the bling, the big houses, the big cars, the big jewel. Crap, I do too. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But I thought, you know what? We can take all these people to show them that you can do all that, but so many people don't know all the good people are doing behind the scenes.
Do they want to remain anonymous with their giving, or are they just simply quiet about doing it?
Well, no, because I saw a lot of this stuff online. I researched it, and I've struggled with that too. Do you talk about what you give or don't you? And I thought, well, you know what? You don't brag about money you're giving, but I think you can talk about who you're involved with. Like if I'm ready to give, $100 million to a working wardrobe, I don't talk about the money. Sorry, I don't have $100 million, but I talk about that. Just
shy of that, but that's what got my attention.
Right. Yeah. But I'm passionate about who I'm working with or giving to. And that way you're not really bragging. You're talking about, gosh, I love this organization. I want to give everything I can, whether it be monetary or my time, because I want to be part of that. When you told me you're helping, everything you're doing is great, Jerri, but the veterans, oh my God. And when I walked in that one conference room you have, where one side is this person who looks like he's a CEO of some Fortune 500 company, and you turn the other side and it's got a picture of a man holding bars, which is obviously in prison. Holy cow.
And the barriers that our clients face.
Right.
But it's about that transformation that they can go through.
Exactly. Yeah. So through that one segment that was in my show, I came up with an idea called Bay Area Fabulous. And basically what it is there's 4 segments in the show. And it can be a plastic surgeon. It can be a restaurant. It just has to have something extra on top. Something, some extra thing they're doing. And it has to be about goodness, giving back, inspiring people, telling me that I can do all that, but be better. So that's what it's about.
So don't you think that baked inside all of us is that desire to do something good? Sometimes we don't know where to go to do that, or how do you select the charity? Do you find that it's there? People just want to know that there's an outlet for them.
Well, here's the thing. So there are 6 basic human needs, and I have to tell you, I learned this from Tony Robbins because I read a lot of that kind of stuff. They're certainty, uncertainty, or variety, love and connection, growth and contribution. A lot of the last 2, in your mind, you forget about growth and contribution. But the only way, and so many studies have shown, to really be happy, really be or fulfilled, that's even better than happiness, is growth and contribution. If you're not growing every day, most people are dying. If you don't contribute, you're not really completely fulfilled.
So we're going to talk more about growth and contribution right after this break. We'll be right back with Jules Wilson.
Welcome to Sunday Brunch. We're a boutique advertising agency located here in Orange County, California. At Sunday Brunch, we custom build teams for all of our clients. Each team member's both personal passions and professional excellence is matched up to meet the needs of your business. Capabilities range from brand building, design, public relations, social media, websites, media planning, buying, working with influencers, events, and even more.
Want to contact us? We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Instagram or online at sundaybrunchagency.com.
Welcome back to Success Talks. We've got Jules Wilson telling us some amazing stories about how you tell the story of people who have chosen to invest in their communities. So you did this great work in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. Now you're here in Orange County. Mm-hmm. And I think you want to do the same thing here, right, Jules?
Well, it's funny where life leads you, right? Because sometimes it's intentional, other times it isn't. Both my children are at Chapman, and they made the university, and they are staying here for sure. So, I'm going where my children go. Thank God it's a place I like. So anyway, I thought to myself, okay, I'm always very mindful of telling them about following their dreams, but also reaching higher. When it's not easy is when you're really growing. So I thought, all right, well, we have the show. By the way, our new show is in the pilot form. We're just going out to our potential sponsors next week. And when I moved down here, I met a couple of friends just by chance. And I thought, well, you know what? Especially after meeting you, I have to tell you, Jerri, I'm like, okay, I've never heard of Working Wardrobe. But here's my thing. Who says it has to be known just in the Southern California area? Or there's a really great husband and wife team. They're with Elite MD Spa up in the Bay Area. And the reason I showcase them is, okay, plastic surgeons, no offense, are a dime a dozen too, right? All due respect. But whenever you go into them to have any type of work done, they're about transformation. Mm-hmm. They believe in the Veda principles of, growth and contribution and spirituality and relationships and connection. You don't have to sign something, but you have to make a handshake deal with them that you're going to really do the whole mind-body thing. Wow. So that changed my outlook on that. So that's why I believe in them. But when it comes to being down here, I thought, you know what, when things are easy, it means you need to turn up the heat a little bit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's why I thought it's a lot to produce a show on the Bay Area and here. But see, a lot of these things, like even Working Wardrobe, who says your donors have to only come from Southern California?
We'd like them anywhere.
Right?
Just generous donors. They can come from any place in the world.
Exactly. And you're supporting the vets. Okay, the vets, I'm sorry, they represented our whole country.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking for organizations, companies, businesses, individuals who are doing things that are just like you, just different, beyond, giving more, unique, whatever. And the goal will probably be to mesh that show together where it covers Northern and Southern California.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you're looking for people who in different industries,
right, but
people who have a heart for giving back.
Right.
To somehow have they touched lives.
Right.
And whatever that is, I think athletes and celebrities almost have a responsibility to help give back.
Agreed. So
are you reaching out to the celebrity, the athletes here in Orange County as well?
Okay, so it's a good question. I haven't really done that yet. That's obviously on my list. So I really wanted to touch the celebrities too that want to show people that it wasn't always easy. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I'm not saying everyone has to have a hard luck story because that's not fair either. But what, not easy could be the fact that you could come from great upbringing, but maybe you lost your way. You know what I mean? Or maybe one teacher transformed your belief in yourself, whatever it might be. But yes, I think the more celebrity you are, people look up to that. They want to be like that. And so much of what we see is sometimes not inspiring from a sincerity standpoint, in my opinion. So that's what I want to do. It's just, regardless of your age, whether you're 20 or 90, we can still be growing.
So I think it's fabulous that these are life lessons that you share with your kids, because that doesn't always get communicated to kids these days.
Right.
So there's something baked in you, Jules, that is really different about a mom who communicates authentically and lovingly about giving back.
Yeah.
How did you do that with your kids?
Well, I think one thing that I do, because and I don't know where this came from, I really don't, but every time I tell my children any lesson about anything, I always say that, you know, when I'm telling you this or trying to teach you this, I'm teaching myself. So it takes the defensiveness off. I go, just because I'm your mom doesn't mean I don't need to learn it again too. So I say we're learning together. But regarding giving back, I remember my mom was really devoted to St. Jude Children's Hospital, and I still am. And so to me, I remember Marlo Thomas used to always say, you know, be thankful for the children in your life who are healthy. So I just talked to my kids a lot about that from when they were really little. Now, my daughter, you know, Uggs, the shoes, that's a funny story, the $250 Uggs. Okay, so she's in high school. She's my only daughter. And she's a good person. She's a good daughter. Didn't give me a problem. So I buy her the Uggs. And one time she said to me, Mom, I feel sort of guilty wearing these $250 Uggs. I feel guilty. I said, Morgan, is it just possible that God or the universe, whoever, wants to use you as an example, that you can have all that and still be a good person, where people would say, oh my gosh, she wears Uggs and she's nice too? Like, are you kidding me?
Is that possible?
You know what I mean? When you're talking about the girls who can get a little bit in high school or middle school.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I think if you've got all that going on and you're even kinder, that's just an example without having to say a word.
Well, so we're hoping that Morgan is going to follow your lead and actually do some creative copywriting for us. So, so this is like all in the family kind of thing, Jules, which I so appreciate. So you have 2 kids going to Chapman, which is a phenomenal university. So you've got to work.
I do have to work. Are you kidding me?
You've got some pretty hefty.
Oh, yeah. Hefty, yeah.
So when you think about this TV show, what's the dream that you have for that? Where is that show going to be aired?
If I had my dream, we would combine it with, okay, so we buy the airtime, at least we have in the past, up on KRON TV in San Francisco Bay Area, which is, it used to be the Embassy affiliate. It's independent now, but it feels like a network show, right? And then the station down here that fits, I don't know, I have to do some research. You know what I mean? Our third partner talked about airing it in San Diego because it's a little bit easier down there. But here's the thing. I think that once you get it together and people understand the mission, and our third partner is really good about getting sponsors, this is what's really important to me too. When I showcase people on the show, I don't want to be chasing the sponsorship ball. I don't want to say, okay, you can be on it, Jerri, as long as you pay your pay-to-play thing, because that's not sincere, number one. Number two, I can't keep up with that. Yeah. So I'm looking for sponsors that really believe in what we're talking about doing. And I'm not talking about a little bit of inspiration. I'm talking about like when you watch Undercover Boss inspiration. Do you know what I mean? Every time I watch that,
huge.
Oh, I cry. Do you know what I mean? So the ultimate goal would be to combine the shows and have it air in both Northern and Southern California and have the sponsors that are proud to be part of that.
You know, I always think when I see that show that I want everyone in their company to have that experience.
Me too.
Like just not those 4 wonderful people.
Yeah.
But it's life-changing.
It is.
And not just for the employees. That boss usually has his or her life changed.
Many times, yes.
And it's not an easy, I mean, I can only imagine how humbling it must be for some of those CEOs to literally listen to what employees are saying about their company. All bets are off. Here's what's really going on here.
But have you ever watched that show, though, and not been completely inspired? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Always.
That's the goal.
And that's an opportunity to really put people in a place of just being so open to what the story is. Mm-hmm. And I think these athletes that you've talked with or celebrities that you've talked with, I think that opportunity to really give back is very big in their lives. Mm-hmm. Most of them have a foundation of some sort.
Right.
And I think so many of them are involved with children's charities because they just feel an obligation to help the kids.
That's right.
And do something better.
That's right.
So I think I think it's a wonderful concept that you want to put together.
Thank you.
And market in Orange County. And I do think people want to hear good news.
I think so
Now,
too.
you've been in the news business. Is it really true that people want to hear about another accident or the bad news?
Well, that's why I really couldn't be a reporter, quote unquote, an anchor reporter, because I'm like, God, I go home depressed every night. And no, I don't believe they do. But you know what? That news comes faster, so it's easier to cover. I don't know if that's the reason.
It's happening so often.
Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
This kind of stuff takes time. And that's why I think people love the shows that are produced, because they take time. And that doesn't mean that we can't find better stuff on the news. Of course you can. But I don't think people are dying to hear more of that at all. You know what I mean? We all want goodness, I think. I think that's how we're designed.
Well, I keep thinking about, I have so many colleagues in the nonprofit world, and we're all doing great work. Mm-hmm. And we're sort of unsung heroes in a way.
You are.
Right? Because
for sure.
we don't get the big publicity. But on a day-to-day basis, when we see a client who is on his road or her road to success, I have to tell you, there's a whole lot of Kleenex around here.
I'm
because
sure.
That's exciting for us.
It is exciting. Well, a person's life is invaluable. And
Yes.
you change one person's life, however often you do that. My gosh. You know, I always notice too when I see, and I know you guided me when I was talking about, I've taught my children too about when we're going by the corner and someone's, wants money. Do you give them money or do you give them food? I'm like, crap, I don't know. So I stopped giving money. I think they'd rather have a meal. So I'd go and buy them a meal. But I always wonder, gosh, that woman or that man, at one point in time, they had a clean slate. We all start out with a clean slate. Like, what happened? So what I love about you guys do is you're kind of giving them a clean slate again. You're giving them a round two.
Well, and it's just as we wrap up, it's actually the full name of our organization is Working Wardrobes for a New Start.
Oh.
Because I realize we can't do it all,
Yeah.
but we can get someone back on his or her feet, and they have to do the work.
Right.
But we can say, here's the new start.
Yeah.
Just like you've got a new start in Orange County. Jules, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Jerri. You're awesome. I'm so grateful to be here.
Likewise. And thanks so much for watching our episode of Success Talks. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Success Talks. We look forward to bringing you thought-provoking episodes again soon and look forward to your feedback and remarks. If you have any particular topic or person you'd like to have me interview, please reach out to us at Working Wardrobes 714-210-2460, and we'll be sure to put them on our show. Until next time, may you remember the power of a paycheck and that success talks.